At last. Welcome, Uriel. As you no doubt have guessed, I'm Nathaniel.
It's an honor to meet you.
I imagine that right now you're feeling a bit like Alice. Tumbling down the rabbit hole,
You could say that.
I can see it in your eyes. You have the look of a man who accepts what he sees because he's expecting to wake up. Ironically, this is not far from the truth. Do you believe in fate, Uriel?
No,
Why not?
because I don't like the idea that I'm not in control of my own life.
I know exactly what you mean. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know, you can't explain. But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Babylon?
Do you want to know what it is? Babylon the Great is everywhere. This system, it is all around us, even now in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your tithes, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes, blind from the truth.
What truth?
That you are a slave, Uriel. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage. Born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what Mystery Babylon is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there's no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You can be whatever you want to be. You can be a Christian, a Moor, Nubian, Caitlyn Jenner. Do you want to be Caitlyn Jenner? Or you can take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering you is the truth, nothing more. Follow me. Haim, are we online? Time is always against us. Almost.
Yeah, you know, all praises to the Most High. Big up the Israelites in a struggle. All we have to do is keep the commandments, yeah? Get back in control, take off the blindfold. Pick up a book, read about stories that aren't told. Living in Babylon, have you come figure your role? I'm a freedom fighter, can you hear it in my tone? Little after that, you must feel it in your bone. Calibrate of ya, blowing through this microphone. To connect with the eye, I don't need no iPhone. Moses don't have the iPad, the text on the stone. The Most High, prophesy this your moment. This your time to free from your torment. Just Google the symbols on your garment. My gonna know who I be. Real soldier from Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Can't compare general order like me. But anyway, yes, back to the business. You be the judge, am I preaching or teaching? Who's the aggressor and who is the victim? Who's the people that don't profit from the system? Only then will you start comprehending. This are the start on, not the ending. Well, depending on who that you're serving. Purify yourself, cause the evil's them lurking. Well, searching for the ones who stray from His Majesty. Brothers that don't have no loyalty. So when me tell them, say, study yourself and don't study me. Study yourself and don't study me. So then I cease and find the fruits from the tree. You not respect the Almighty. So then I cease and find the fruits from the tree. Those of you who choose to bow to vanity. So then I cease and find the fruits from the tree. Throw me like you want, let the beast end dead. So then I cease and find the fruits from the tree. You remember how the man eat. Get back in control, take off the blindfold. Pick up a book, read about stories that aren't told. Pick up Babylon, have you configure your role. I'm a freedom fighter, can you hear it in my tone? Little after that, you must feel it in your bone. Got the breath of ya blowing through this microphone. To connect with the eye, I don't need no iPhone. Moses don't have the iPad, the text on the stone. The most high, prophesying this your moment. This your time to free from your torment. Just Google the symbols on your garment. My philosophy and me not beg no pardon. So then I see some right no fruits from the tree. You not respect the Almighty. So then I see some right no fruits from the tree. Those of you who choose to bow to vanity. So then I see some right no fruits from the tree. Coming like you want, let the beast in then. So then I see some right no fruits from the tree. You not remember Adam and Eve. Please don't stray and left from the garden. You're moving from love and your heart start to harden. The blood.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the sides of the tide.
Alright, Bill Cosby. Everybody got a Bill Cosby on. Who's that? We can lock this. You ready? Are we on? Yeah. Oh, okay. Hey, shalom, Most High Christ, bless you.
Shalom, man, shalom.
This is Signs of the Times. Do your intro again for us.
Welcome to the sides of the tide.
All praises. I'm Officer Zakar, to my right.
Soldier Rila.
And to my left.
Soldier Judah.
Soldier Judah. All right, all praise. Welcome to the Signs of the Times here, live and direct from Miami. We're going to go into a little bit of a continuation that we had a few weeks back, or maybe a week ago sometime. This show is going to be called Real Black History for the Month Continue.
That's
right. Real Black History for the Month Continue. Now, we all know that so-called Black History Month just passed like a daggone vapor in the sunny sky, on the grass, on the dew grass.
That's funny how they give Black History the shortest month.
Nobody even thought about it. Right? Nobody cared. 28 days. The most significant thing that probably happened last month for what they call Black History Month was Donald Trump saying he's naming it African American Month.
So they changed your names again.
They changed it again. That's the most famous thing that happened with that BS last month. But what we're going to do is give you real Black history.
That's right.
For the month here on Signs of the Times. So we're going to get into it here with the Bible. We're going to pull it out the Bible, and we're going to show you historically how you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the real Jews according to the Bible. That's right. The real Jews according to the Bible. You so-called American blacks, you would be known as Judah. You so-called West Indian blacks, you would be known as Benjamin in the Bible. You so-called Haitians, you're known as Levi. Ephraim, or Puerto Ricans, you're known as Ephraim. Then we got Cubans, you're known as Manasseh, and so on. So Mexicans, you're known as Issachar. Guatemalans, you're known as Naphtali. Or Zebulon, right?
That's right.
And then you so-called Brazilians and Peruvians, you're known as Asher in the Bible. So-called Dominicans, you're known as Simeon in the Bible. So on and so forth. You can check out the 12 tribes chart anytime.
That's right.
But that's who God calls you in the Bible. He never calls you those slave names that these Englishmen gave you or these Spanish people gave you. So we're going to give you some understanding on some real Black history right here. So let's go to Job 8:8. Let's start out right there.
The book of Job, chapter 8, verse 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
Hey, I need these the volumes on these mics turned up for me so I can hear myself. It says, for inquire, I pray thee, of the former age. You know what Job, our forefather, is telling us to do? He's telling us to become historians.
That's right.
Become researchers. So that's one thing that we as a people don't do. We don't research. You know, the most research, because I used to be in like other people, all searching for the truth. The most research that I did was I clicked on YouTube, see a black man talking about Pan-Africanism, and read some stuff on Egypt, and we was Egyptians. That was it. We built the pyramids, and we ruled the earth, and that was it. Other than that, I didn't read no books. I didn't read no books on that.
Wait, you mean there wasn't a whole month dedicated to that kind of stuff?
Nah, I wasn't a whole bunch dedicated to that. I didn't really do no research like many of our people though who fall into that Egyptology stuff and that Pan-Africanism type stuff. We don't do no research on it. We watch a few videos, a few online articles, and that's it.
So watch Roots, maybe if it comes on. Hidden Colors.
That's the research they go through down
That's
there.
it.
What's his name? Tariq Nasheed, and we'll talk about him a little bit later. That is become the black man and black woman who hates the Bible. That has become their source of history. They don't check out nothing of what he's saying, anything like that. Because in that Hidden Colors, everybody on the earth is an African. The Chinese people, they Africans. The damn white man, he's an African that just turned pale. That's how it is with them. So the reason again, Job 8, they see what Job is telling us.
Job chapter 8, verse 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age.
He's telling you, become historians. Do some research. Read on.
And prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
Prepare yourself for the search of your fathers. Your fathers are who? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Noah, the prophets of the Bible, the disciples. These are your forefathers that you're supposed to search out. And where are you going to find that at? In the Bible.
Right.
That's where it first starts out at.
And in the Bible, obviously, where we learn the Bible, first off and foremost, before coming into the truth, you know, we're Israelites, we learn the Bible in Christian church.
Right.
So in the Christian,
you heard it. You didn't learn it.
Right. You didn't learn it. But what we think we're doing is learning it.
Right.
But at the same time, here it is. Job is telling us that we're supposed to look into our history, research your history, not just briefly, but diligently.
Right.
This is something that for a long time, Christian churches, their pastors, the leaders of those churches would never do. And even if you ask somebody who was a devout Christian, a Christian for however long, even been to theology school, they can't go into the history and actually show you not only who you are, but how the Bible is actually related, tied to you as an individual, as a so-called black, so-called Hispanic, and a so-called Native American.
Right.
And they won't do that specifically because it's to keep you asleep, docile. Exactly. That's the perfect word.
Building up the American dream, right?
Exactly.
American system,
the American nightmare that you're in.
Right. So that's why they can't piece together your history. They can't tell you who you are. They just tell you how. You know what? Because they don't have the understanding of the Bible and how we fit into this, and it's our book. They tell you just have faith.
Right.
Just have faith.
Which is another term for it don't matter.
Yeah, exactly right. So that's what happened. So he said, prepare yourself for the search of your fathers. Read on.
For we are but of yesterday, and know nothing.
We really don't know what we think we know.
Right.
You got to do some research because you know why? Your enemy, the so-called Caucasian white man, he has done a diligent search on your history and has applied all kind of methods to cover up your history so you would never find out who you are.
That's right.
Diligent search. Millions of dollars put into that.
The billions. Trillions of dollars
put into that thing.
You think about every single movie that's been made in history, it's in some way, shape, or form is to hide your history from you.
Right. Yep. They give it to you visually, where every person of any notability, they all white.
Exactly. Moses, Abraham, Adam.
Hell, they even take
the angels.
Asians, the samurai, the last samurai.
The last Mohican.
They the last Mohican. They take everything to cover up everybody's history, especially ours.
The Great Wall. They just had Esau, or the so-called red man or white man, as we know, he helped build the Great Wall or defend the Great Wall from the Mongolians. So now he's a Chinese. Now he's Asian.
And what was that other one too? It just came out. Gods and Kings.
Exodus,
Oh, yeah, right?
He's an Egyptian.
They had us right in there when we was, we was the slaves. Moses just happened to be. He is Hebrew. He was Hebrew. His mother was a slave, right? All of the people that are around these Egyptians are black in the movie, but Moses is somehow white, and that's his people that are black is all outdoors. Blowing Negroes to sleep.
That's the confusion that's been the popular persuasion that's been put on our people to keep you asleep.
So read verse 10.
Verse 10. Shall not they teach thee and tell thee and utter words out of their heart?
Read on.
Can the rush grow up without mire? Can the flag grow without water? Whilst it is yet in its greenness and not cut down, it withered before any other herb.
So he's giving you an analogy of mire, which is like a muddy type of thing, and he says, what grow up without the rush? The rush is like those plants. So I don't want to say plants, but that grass, that tall grass that you see growing up out of swampland.
Yeah, we call it sawgrass down here.
Sawgrass is what it's called down here. So you would see that type of stuff, and then he goes on to say, can the flag, which is like weeds and stuff, grow without the water? He's giving it an analogy. So he's telling you, you can't know who you are until you do some research about your people. First starting out with the Bible, and then everything else comes. Find out that you're an Israelite first, and then the rabbit hole, like y'all saw in the video, the red pill, the blue pill. Then the rabbit hole opens up, and you can start looking into other sources, and
and see how deep it goes.
That was us.
That's right.
It was calling us a different name because I read the curse and said our names will be changed. Now you got to understand it to put one and one together. Right. So let's go to Deuteronomy. Go ahead.
Read on verse 13, because it talks about while yet there is in its greenness, right, and not cut down, it withers before any other herb. So it dies without that nourishment, right? The nourishment being the Bible. Read on what happens when it actually dies. Verse 13. So are the paths of all that forget God. Read on. And the hypocrite's hope shall perish. Come on. Whose hope shall be cut off, and whose trust shall be a spider's web. So basically it's telling you that if you don't research your past, if you don't research your history, what's going to come to you is your destruction. Right. What's going to come to you is the same thing that happened to you in the past. It's going to happen again and again and again and again.
Exactly right. And we're seeing that play out nowadays. We're going through the same stuff we went through in the 60s. Exactly. Repeating itself again. We're doing the same stuff we did again. Marching and protesting where it died down some, maybe for a few years. Rise back up.
Right back up.
Dang, we're going through the same thing we went through 60 years ago.
You have Negroes laying in the middle of I-95 all over again.
Go to Deuteronomy 32 and 7.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations.
So going now, I want to bring this out to you, so-called blacks and Hispanics. Maybe watching this for the first time, not knowing you Israel. Over and over again, we read in the Bible where God says, remember the days of old. Become researchers. Know what has happened before you so you can learn from that and become better in the future. Right? Don't you know? I'm telling you, look at this. We the Israelites, hands down, flat out, we cannot be debunked.
Right. That's right.
That's, in their own book, they tell you we the Jews.
That's right.
So what happens here is that we have no understanding that we're actually the greatest historians to ever walk the face of the earth.
And that's proven in the history books. That wherever we went, we carried our history.
We carried our history. And where is it proven most at? In the Bible. How do you think all this stuff got recorded? It was black men walking around. Guess what they call them? Scribes.
Right, scribes.
They were scribing down what was going on in the history of our times.
Right.
A prophet would go out, a scribe would be with him, he would prophesy, and it'd be written down. We are the greatest historians.
Today, we call them historians, or we call them bibliographers. We call them, we
They
call
now
them,
taking over our responsibility that we once had because we've fallen so far.
Exactly.
But we're the greatest historians ever. That's why I keep saying it over. Remember the days of old. Read that again.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations.
God said, consider what came before you, what happened before you got here. Because what happened to you in the past is affecting you what's in the future. Right. Where you at right now.
Right, exactly. Affecting you today.
Today.
This very
moment and second. Read on.
Ask thy father, and he will show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee.
How you think we know what we know right here? We asked our spiritual fathers, Bishop Nathaniel, Bishop Kanai, Deacon Yawasa, Deacon Asaph. We asked them questions.
Right. And they've done extensive research, and also their experience in over the years of what they've learned has helped to open up the understanding, coupled with the spirit of the Most High. With the spirit of keeping the commandments, the Most High is opening up their understanding. We ask the questions, we try to find out, and we get the answers.
And that's why we here giving it to you now. We try to freely ye have received, freely ye shall give.
Right, because
we follow the commandments of Christ, right?
Right. You have to pay not a dime, not a single red cent in order to get this information, which is more valuable than any gold.
Exactly right. So it says, thy elders, and they will tell thee. All you got to do is ask a question. So we're going to give it to you so you can come into that understanding. Go to verse 26.
Verse 26, Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 26. I said, I will scatter them into corners. I will make the remembrance of them to cease from among men.
So the reason why we got to do this search of our fathers, prepare our heart, prepare to do some research, get you something to eat, get you something to drink, and say, okay, I'm going to find out these. I'm going to type in every keyword that I can possibly think of.
That's right.
It's going to give me the answer that I need to find. I'm going to go to the library and I'm going to look at some books that I know about our history and see if I can piece this together with what's going on in the Bible. Why? Because God says that he would make the remembrance of us to cease from among men.
Right.
The reason why our remembrance has been ceased from among men is because God couldn't let us walk around being called after him in the midst of sin that we are in as a people.
Right.
Can't do it. Daddy ain't gonna let us shame his name.
Right, because that's exactly what we were doing. We were bringing down the Most High's name. All the nations in the earth knew that we were the Israelites. They still know we're the Israelites. They still know we're the Israelites. But in order for the Most High to show us his power and how he has control over us, he allowed the other nations to take us in slavery because we weren't keeping God's commandments. So because of that, we lost our nationality, we lost our language, we lost all of our history. We lost it because we weren't able to read. Here in America, we weren't able to read. And also before that, when we were in Africa, we were chased and persecuted to the point where we actually had to hide. And we're going to bring that out too. We actually had to hide our nationality, hide our culture, hide the fact that we kept God's commandments.
Go to Ezekiel 36. I'm going to prove to you.
That's it.
Where God said, the reason why he made our name to cease from among men is because we was in the land of wickedness. He couldn't let us be walked around because, hey, those the Israelites flat out right there.
Straight up.
But look at them. They celebrate Christmas.
Thanksgiving and New Year's.
You couldn't let them do that. Go to Ezekiel 36, and we're going to start. Yeah, that's the point. I want to read verse 16 on that.
Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 16. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, when the house of Israel dwelt in their own land, they defiled it by their own way and by their doing.
We defiled our land. We were doing all manner of wickedness. We became like the heathen.
Right, doing our own thing.
They didn't have a God. We made up gods. We was asking counsel of Baal. We was it was whoremongering. It was sodomy in the land.
Sacrificing
our children to what was that name of the thing? Molech.
Molech. That's right.
We were doing all that wicked stuff. Read on.
Their way was before me as the uncleanness of a removed woman.
He seen it all. Read on.
Wherefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood that they had shed upon the land.
We was murderers, just like we are here in
Exactly.
the land that's not ours. We
Exactly.
still killing each other.
Still killing each other. We still haven't learned yet.
Read on.
And for their idols wherewith they have polluted it.
Our idols, we was all, like I said, we was worshiping other gods. We here in America worshiping Christianity, worshiping Islam,
Yep. Buddha.
and some of us don't even believe in nothing.
Right.
Atheism. Read on.
And I scattered them among the heathens,
Uh-huh.
and they were dispersed through the countries.
That's when our name ceased from among men. When God began to scatter us through the countries and through all the nations, our name became ceased. Then we began to take on other names.
We're gonna prove today that that's documented in the history books.
Exactly right. Read on.
According to their way and according to their doings, I judged them.
Read on.
And when they entered unto the heathen, whither they went, they profaned my holy
You
name.
see what God says? Wherever I scattered them at, wherever they landed at, he said they profaned my holy name among the heathen. It's like, yeah, these are the Israelites. But look at what they doing. God said, no. They are destroying my name because everybody knows them's my people.
Like those of you that are on Periscope, if you're old enough to know, if you grew up in a certain neighborhood for a long enough time, everybody knew your father. They knew your mother. They knew maybe even your grandmother. So they knew when you was out there on the street acting a fool. Ain't that
That's Joseph's son right there.
Right.
That's Raymond's son,
Right.
daughter.
Right. And at the same time, what they would wind up doing is they would actually, if you lived in that kind of community, they'd either take you, beat you if they had to, or they say, okay, I know your mother. I'm gonna tell you your mother. And it's the same thing with the nations. The nations like, oh, wait a minute, they those Israelites.
Right.
We see it. So that's how the Most High got to see that. You know what? They're gonna keep doing this to my name. They're gonna keep bringing my name down.
Look
You can take that.
Read that again. It says they profaned my holy name. Read on.
When they said to them, these are the people of the Lord.
That's how we profaned our name. They said, look, these are the people of the Lord.
Right. You supposed to be holy people.
They're supposed to be holy people with all these righteous commandments they gave. But look at them.
Are they supposed to be burning their children like that? Are they supposed to be killing each other like that?
Abortions.
Are they supposed to be aborting their children like that?
Right. It says, these are the people. This is what everybody else said. That's how we profaned his name. He said, I got to take my name from him. Call him something else. Don't call them my people. It says they profaned my holy name. Read on.
And are gone forth out of his land.
And they've gone forth out of that. Back to Deuteronomy 4. Deuteronomy 32. I think it was 27. 26.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 26. I said, I will scatter them into corners. I will make the remembrance of them to cease from among men.
So that's why we got to do a search of who our fathers are, who we are in history, and how it lines up with the Bible. Because our name has been ceased from among men from the earth because we profane God's name wherever we went. Give me Jeremiah 50:6. Because of our sins, God had to take his name from us. Now you're known as African Americans. Africa and Americans. Our whole continent. And America, guess what? When you break it down, really, Africa is a continent that got like 50 different countries in it, right? So you're a whole continent. You come from everywhere. You was born every damn where. And then Americans. America is 3 different continents, right? It's North, Central, and South America. So when you break it down, if somebody really wanted to be like, your name is dumb as hell, they can ask you, say, I'm an African American. Oh, really?
And that's one of the curses.
What part of Africa are you from, and what part of America, or which of the Americas are you from? So you're African North American, or you're African Central American. Oh, you're African South American. Which one? Because there's 3 different places there in America.
That's how you know the Most High. The Most High has a sense of humor.
Yeah, all kinds of names.
Give them all kinds of. They ain't gonna have my name. They gonna do my name like that. Go ahead.
My name. Like that. Jeremiah 50:6.
Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 6. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray.
So we have been lost sheep, wandering from religion to religion, from country to country, from continent to continent, from belief to non-belief. Lost sheep don't know which way to turn. Even if you get the thought in your mind, like, I'm going to search out the truth, it's so much BS out there on the internet.
Wow. Yes.
That you can get caught in the spider web of it, and you be walking around with a damn ankh on your neck or a pharaoh on your neck, not knowing there was the people had you in slavery.
And having not a clue that none of that stuff makes sense. And none of it can actually tell you truly who you are.
That's how I found out I was Israel, because I went searching. I landed in that Egyptology type stuff. I went like those knucklehead ass Polite or Sonnet or Super City. I wasn't doing that stuff. It just gave me a sense of, I thought it was a sense of identity. Like I can connect myself.
Right, you belong to something.
I belong to something.
Right.
That's what we do as a people.
Right.
That's why we landed into that stuff. But
that goes to show how we truly yearn for a sense of identity, because we're going into Egyptology, we're going into Christianity, we're going to all of these different movements, these philosophies.
That's why we went into Islam.
Right, exactly. That's why we went into Islam. We were forced into every single one of those philosophies and religions that we just named, but yet still, instead of coming out of it and finding out who you truly are, we decided to go back to it because that's all we do.
We stayed there.
Stay right there.
So with me looking for the truth, I ended up in that stuff. But the one question that that whole deep conscious Egyptian history, we built the pyramids, we was pharaohs, and we was Nefertiti and all of that BS. It never told me how we got from that side of the earth to here.
Right, exactly.
I used to look at the damn hieroglyphs. They didn't have it on there.
Right.
They got all kind of stuff on there now. The Egyptians do about flying saucers. Oh, they had a helicopter in the hieroglyphs.
And
Esau, they ain't got no damn ship on there.
And the so-called white man, at every turn, every time they find out stuff like that, the so-called white man is, no, that's not what that means.
Right.
No, that's not what that means. No, that's not what it means. You don't know. No.
Right. So that's what happened. That's why that ain't it. This can't be it, because it still don't tell me how I got to this side of the earth.
Exactly.
But you know what? The Most High had mercy on me. Said, I'm gonna show this little young dumb boy, because he's searching. I see he's searching. So let me put the thought in his mind to ask the question: well, who's those black people on the wall that's enslaved to these other black people? Oh, that's where I found out how we was Israelites right there. Read Jeremiah 50 and 6 again.
Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 6. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from the mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place.
Did what?
They have forgotten their resting place.
You have forgotten where you come from.
Exactly.
You think our people love America.
And think it's their rest.
And think it's their rest. They think it's their homeland. You so proud of Haiti, you put a flag up in there. My country. You so proud of Jamaica, you put a flag up there. You so proud of Puerto Rico, you put a flag up there.
And every
so proud. You celebrate 4th of July.
Every 4th of July, you got Negroes running to Walmart buying all the American flags.
Right.
And right after that, somebody gets shot by the police. A young black youth gets shot by the police in America, and they let off whoever shoots him.
Exactly right. You forgot where you come from. This ain't our resting place. That's why you ain't got no rest here. That's why you work long ass hours.
Right. Just to barely
terrible job.
Right. Just to barely make your ends meet. Just to barely feed your family.
Just to work to pay bills.
That's it.
Y'all parents go work to pay bills. That's what I do. I already know. I work to pay bills.
Check to check.
Check to check, month to month. And even sometimes I'm talking to us as a majority, as a whole, as a nation. Right. Some of us is doing good, but the majority of us is a people.
Right. But even if you do have a good job, even if you are doing well off, at the same time, you got to look at it like, how is what you're doing benefiting the whole, your nation as a whole?
It's true. If you're in this truth, if you got some good job, good work, it ain't benefiting one of your people. Not at all. Because all you do is give it right back to the white man and all his holidays and things like that. So We was in Jeremiah 50 and 6, right?
That's right.
Now let's get into this right here. We forgotten who we are. Remember, today's show on Signs of the Time is called Real Black History for the Month. Continue. Let's go to Isaiah 9 and 16. Remember, Job said, prepare for the search of thy father. The Lord said, remember the days of old. So we're going to pair this with the Bible, and we're going to show y'all some stuff in today's time. Isaiah 9, 16.
Isaiah chapter 9, verse 16. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed.
Read that thing again.
For the leaders of this people cause them to err.
The leaders of this people cause us to err. How? Because they don't know where the hell they came from.
Right.
They tell you African. They tell you that you Hispanic. They tell you Native American. They ain't telling you that. They just regurgitating the stuff they heard from the white man.
Exactly.
And they claim that they done did some diligent research, but none of them can still tell you how we ended up here on the shores of America, in the West Indies, in South America. They can't tell you that. Not at all. No, ask an Egyptian, what you call that? What was that word? Intellectual.
Oh, yeah.
Ask him that. Well, how we get from Egypt to America? Because I ain't never read no history of Egyptians going into slavery.
Or show us the book where it actually says that.
Show us that. Because that's how we know information, right?
Right.
It's transferred from books to books, right? And the truest book on the planet that it was recorded in is the Bible. Shows you how you got from the west coast of Africa to here. So your leaders are the ones that cause you to err. Pull up that folder, because I'm gonna bring the Bible to life and show you what God talked about. Click on the first one. Bring it out. Yeah, click on the first picture. Click on that thing. Blow it up. Yeah, click on that thing. So bam, read that thing again.
Isaiah chapter 9, verse 16. For the leaders of this people cause them to err.
Cornel West causing you to err. He's his old intellectual working at some kind of whatever you call it, university, trying to be deep and philosophical, causes you Negroes to err.
And a lot of these people that we've got to bring out, a lot of them, they have all the solutions, but no actual true solutions to put into use for our people. But they can talk all day.
Yeah.
All day
Hey,
long.
you know where they talk at too? What's that thing called where all the black people go up there and sit on chairs and they laugh at old black people because they say funny ass things? The Black Caucus or something like that. National Black Caucus, that's what it's called. They get up there and laugh at Dick Gregory and older. Tavis Smiley be hosting.
Right.
I get all these black intellectuals up there, and they say catchy phrases to make black people stand up like they're in church. You go, go, preach. I preach, teach. Destroying you. No solution. You leave out of that thing with a good laugh, right back to the ghetto, right back to the hood, waking up in the morning, going to that slaving ass job in poverty.
Little quick fact on this fan that we have right now. Cornel
Can you
West.
see this on Periscope? They can't see it. What's going on with Periscope? Go ahead.
Cornel West is
Keep the pictures up there. I want them to see it.
Cornel West is an American philosopher, political activist, social critic, author, public intellectual, and prominent member of the Democratic Socialists of America. So again, these are people who are supposed to be leading our people, so-called blacks, in regards to this gentleman, we're supposed to be leading our people into a brighter future, into a better tomorrow. As long as these brothers has been in power or been in the spotlight, when have you seen them actually come up with solutions to make our people get out of the situation that they're in? When?
Facebook sounds good.
I mean, on Facebook, Periscope.
Sounds real good. What they're talking about sounds real good. So God said the leaders of this people cause them to err. What's the next picture on there? Oh, Ivan Van Sertima. I know some of y'all don't know about Ivan Van Sertima.
You went digging in the crates for this one.
Ivan Van Sertima, because I came across him when I was searching for the truth. I thought that he knew something too. He wrote some book called "They Came Before Columbus." The picture where they've got the Olmec head.
Okay,
right.
Okay,
They call those things, right?
Right.
He said those is African people that traveled here thousands of years before, leading you to destruction. What you got?
It says here, Ivan.
I think he's passed on now, but he's one that led many people to destruction. Read on.
Ivan Van Sertima. Let's see. He's from Guyana, right? Guyana. It says he was a Guyanese-born associate professor of Africana studies at Rutgers University in the United States. All right. So he was a associate professor. Does that mean he wasn't even really a professor?
Nah, I don't know what it is. But he made up some books about black people and Africans.
Right. He was best known for his Olmec alternative origin speculations.
There you go.
Right? A brand of pre-Columbian contact theory, which he proposed in a book They Came Before Columbus.
Exactly right. All right. So let's go to the next picture.
Remember, these are people who are supposedly intellectuals,
right? That's
conscious,
intellectual,
philosophers, academia.
The next one here, who is that? Oh, that's Dr. Ben Yakinen, whatever you want to call it. I don't know how to say his name. Yakinen.
Yeah, if you
can see, he led it.
Right.
Yeah. He's passed on now too. He passed on, but he led many people. He destroyed many people thinking they was Egyptians. What he got a kufi on his head, and then he got African colors around his neck. You know, it's everywhere.
Hold on. Bringing him up right now.
So he was one of them. Read that again. Isaiah 9:16.
Isaiah chapter 9 verse 16. For the leaders of this people cause them to err.
Causing them to err, driving them further and further and further away from God. Because all of us talking. I think Dr. Ben Yakinen too, we had a few books talking about African spirituality and all that type of stuff.
Yep. It says here, Dr. Ben Yakinen was an African-American writer and historian. He was considered to be one of the more prominent Afrocentric scholars by some in Black nationalist community, while some mainstream scholars have dismissed him because of his basic historical inaccuracies in his work.
Inaccuracies, right? All right. So the leaders of this people cause them to err,
as well as disputes about the authenticity of his educational degrees and academic credentials. Wow. Wow. So so his degrees, his
was in question.
Is in question.
You know, it couldn't have questioned that if his knowledge came from the Bible.
Right.
Couldn't have been refuted.
Exactly.
That's what proved me wrong.
And that's
like we Israelites said, well, prove me wrong then.
And you know, the majority of the Pan-Africanists.
Just click the next button on there. Then you gotta keep going to the full thing. Just click next.
The majority of the Pan-Africanists that we know of today, they all follow this gentleman.
Yeah. This is like the originator.
Right.
Taught all of them. Right. They read his books. Right.
And his credentials are in question.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let's see who's the next one. Tariq Nasheed. Oh, I know you know him. Yeah. Tariq Nasheed. He's the one that is the inventor, the hustler, as he called himself. Because before he found out about he can make money off black people with this inaccurate history, he wrote some books on how to be a player. People didn't know that. Wow. He was a former pimp and a player hustler.
Wow.
He wrote books on that, but he found another means to make some money. Negroes don't really know their history, so I'm gonna put some videos together, get some people that think they know something. Pimping his own people. Pimping his own people. Wow. Look, he got a pimp look on his face right there. Yeah, I got you. Hidden colors. Use your leaders, causing you to err. You know how? Hidden colors 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
Everybody on the face of the earth is African. If you got some color to your skin, you're African. White people are African. that just went into some mountains and lost their color and came back out to Tariq Nasheed. Cool.
I'd like somebody to please explain that one to me. Explain that. As many black people are all over the earth, living in mountains, still haven't lost their color yet.
I remember saying that too. He had me believe that fool. At first just didn't make. I think I watched it after I came into the truth, but it didn't make no sense. Right? Everybody's African. Ain't they? One of your leaders destroying your people, right?
Completely.
Hidden colors.
And a lot of people. That's the thing, because you brothers are talking about. I've never seen any of the hidden colors.
Don't watch it.
But every time I've heard somebody talk about it, from Bishop on down, they've always talked about how it's just complete garbage. The clips, the little bit of clips that you see, they start going into all kinds of madness about. It's like you said about the Africans were the originators of all people, so that's where the Chinese come from. That's where the white man comes from. But then you have historians who completely debunk that,
right?
Destroy that, right. Scientists, all of that stuff.
But he would get money off of that because
I'm following him.
Watching hidden colors and say, "Boom, I know who I am now."
Wow.
Joe said, "You got to go past that stuff because there's a lot of BS out here. A lot of Negroes that make money off of y'all and destroy y'all." And God said the leaders of this people are causing you to error. This is why you keep getting gunned down, locked up in jail, always struggling, going around, marching around the same tree for 50, 60 years because your leaders are causing you to err. Let's go to the next one. Let's see who's up here. Let's see who we got. That's one of your newest leaders right there. One of your newest leaders, David Banner, former rapper turned intellectual, going around college campuses and telling black people to come together. We Afrikaans must unite.
And he's heard the truth.
Yeah. He's got a bunch of flyers.
Yeah, he's been he was not in contact, but he's been in close proximity.
Yeah. He met with the Virginia camp before, Chicago camp. Gave him flyers, right. A few other camps that seen him.
Hey, but yet still pushing this
Pan-Africanism.
Right. We all Africans. We got to come together.
Yeah. Money, grandpa. Pull our money together. That's how we gonna change things. Well, you can't change things if I'm a so-called African and I'm a Buddhist African, and then I'm a Christian African, and then you're a Baptist African, and I'm a Muslim African. Don't you know the Bible says money is the root of all evil? So even if we do come together as a bunch of brown people, Israelites that we are, without the knowledge of knowing that we Israel, what will end up happening is evil will come into play and it will destroy the whole thing.
Evil spirit. And you know the one thing that all of these people, these leaders that we have that have in common, all of them that we're going to bring out and have brought out, they have one thing in common. They all teach for money.
Oh, yeah.
Every one of them, they teach for money.
Yeah.
You can't get them to come to your school, to come to anywhere.
Just come down and enlighten us, Dr. Umar Johnson.
Not without a $15,000 check.
Yeah, maybe $15,000, $20,000. I want a plane ticket and room.
Right. Drop that money in the account. I'll be there.
Let's go to the next leader that's destroying our people. Bam! KRS-One. It's for some of you older folks out here. He's destroying you too with that music they had. Now, he used to know that he was Israel for a short time, but he didn't endure. He didn't have that root of the Bible in him, and he went back off into his madness of Africanism, Buddhism, whatever you want to call that stuff that came out of New York in the 80s and early 90s.
This religion now is hip hop.
Yeah.
That's now a religion. That's what they push now. That hip hop is a religion. That's why you have the 5 degrees of hip hop, graffiti and break dancing. It's
that's madness. Yep. Go ahead, go to the next one. Oh, here's another one, and he's showing us. If you don't know who he is, this is Phil Valentine. He's one of them that be in the hidden colors. He's into a lot of things, what you call metaphysics. He's trying to mix the science with the spirit and tap into some dimension to take us to a higher level of consciousness.
Oh, Lord.
Phil Valentine, the leaders of black people who want to call themselves conscious, destroying Negroes. Wow. Got a hawk and some other stuff on his head. Think he Egypt. He got 2 eyes on his head of horse.
And these are the same people, if you ask them, well, how can you show me where in what book can I go to see that me as a so-called African American over here in America, how can you show me that I am in fact an Egyptian? How can you show me, or where can I find that writing? And they will tell you straight up, there's no writing that tells you that.
Right.
We just know, honestly, it's based on skin color. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it's really based on. And the knowledge that the so-called white man gave to them about the peoples in Africa.
Yeah. Because if you don't know Periscope, all of these conscious people that you know of here, they learned what they know from a white man named Gerald Massey. Look it up. He's the father of Egyptology, not Dr. Ben Yakinen.
Wow.
Gerald Massey is a white man that supposedly translated the hieroglyphs and gave all the knowledge that Negroes know now of Egypt. He came from a white man. Look it up. His name is Gerald Massey, a white man. He's the father of Egyptology when you type it in.
E. Wallace Butch, that's another one.
Mm-hmm.
Jacques Champollion, another one. All of these people are these are the same people that brought you here on slave ships, sold you as slaves.
Give me the next one.
Teaching you who you are.
Let's see who it is. Oh, there we go. Oh,
the infamous.
Oh man, the infamous. Y'all know who that is? Who is that, y'all? Periscope, tell me who that is right here. IUIC.org. Who is this right here? Y'all watching? Who is this brother right here that we looking at? What's it?
Umar.
Exactly right.
The brother called himself the Prince of the Unconscious Computer.
The Prince of Unconscious. Look at he's one of the forerunners right now of this consciousness movement that's going on amongst black people. That's what did God say that's doing to him? Read verse 16.
Verse 16, Isaiah chapter 9, verse 16. For the leaders of this people caused them to err.
It's causing you to err. He's the leader of it right now. Still waiting on that school. right. Still waiting on that school. Yep. Say he can't get no money out of black people. Wow. So a lot of black people must know that his stuff he's talking about is BS.
Straight up. The Prince of Strife. That's exactly what it is.
Prince of Strife. We're going to show y'all little stuff over to your conscious leaders. He's destroying his people. Go to the next one. She's passed on now too. Her name is Dr. France Welsing.
Mm-hmm.
She's destroying her people. She was famous for a book. I can't think of the name. What was that book called, Periscope? What was it called? Israelite. What was that thing called? She came out with a book. I bought it too. I read it. It was some deep stuff. She was into some psychology type stuff of the pool table. The reason why the white ball is the master ball to hit all the other balls of color into a black hole is because it's white supremacy of the psychology of the white man. And the reason why the black ball is the last one to hit into the hole of the pool table is to symbolize the white man having dominance over the black man. And the pool table is green to resemble the earth. I was like, sheesh.
That sounds like
damn, that was deep.
Remember Living Color? Remember Living Color, the two brothers in jail? I wonder if we had a clip of that.
Hey, see if you can YouTube that. A clip of the two brothers in jail. No, the one brother in jail, they used to have all the deep words.
Yeah,
right?
it was two of them. They were on the phone. They were like, one was in one was in one cell, the other was in another cell, and they talking to each other. They do it with like 14 syllable words and all that.
See if we can crack that real quick. But this is one of them. Read that in Isaiah 9:16 again. I'm gonna drive this home to you. I'm giving you a visual of what God is talking about. He's saying your leaders are causing you to err.
Isaiah chapter 9, verse 16. For the leaders.
ISIS papers. That's what it was called. The ISIS papers.
Yep.
Exactly right. Thank you for that. Read that.
For the leaders of this people caused them to err. And they that are led of them are destroyed.
They will destroy people.
Yep.
So obviously God is telling you those people that you were searching, trying to find yourself from, they was destroying you in the process.
And the fact that our people hold on tight to it just shows how really destroyed our people are.
And did we find that clip at all about them too? Okay, all right, we'll come back to it.
Living color. In living color.
You got destroyed people trying to lead destroyed people.
Right, exactly.
Blind leading the blind.
Blind leading the blind. Let's go to the next picture. Let's see what we got. Who was this leader? Oh, he's one of these brothers that be on Hidden Colors. His name is Booker T. Coleman. You see what he got on his neck? He got an ankh around his neck and on some horse on his coat. I'm talking about the female vagina is the eternal life. That's where the ankh comes from, and this is the phallus right here. So you don't understand the spirituality of us. We don't need a Bible to be spiritual. We are one with the Creator. This is that stuff that they be telling y'all about and destroying our people.
And our people eating it up.
And they smoke weed, listening.
Right? Eating it up.
Man, that's so deep right there.
Oh my goodness.
Man, that thing's deep. That's real deep. Let's go to the let's see what we got. Let me see that on YouTube. Let's go to YouTube real quick. There you go, right there, right?
Yeah, there you go.
And pause it real quick. I want that thing loaded up on Periscope. Let me see the title. It says, In Living Color, Up for Parole. Let's see that. I want to bring it up. In Living Color, Up for Parole.
Scroll down a little bit, soldier. Scroll down. Is that it? Right there? Yes.
Yes. We'll go to that one next. But I'm gonna show you. This is what it's like listening to these conscious folks out here that don't know what the hell they're really talking about. In Living Color, Up for Parole. Let's see that. Scroll down. Yeah, that's it right there. Play that thing when you get it for them.
Before we vote on your request for parole, we do have some questions. Do you think you'll be able to adjust to life on the outside?
Blow it up big.
Allow me to apologize myself.
There you go.
Speaking, my incarceration has forced, the ventilation of, shall I say, my dairy air. And upon my discharge, I will ejaculate my mind to the prophylactic of the bowels of society.
But how would you support yourself, Mr. Bates, considering that your reading comprehension has gone down every year since you've been in prison?
A very imaginative proposition, my man. That is to say, prostitution pertaining to the content, you understand, of the argument. I myself have emblematized my liquidation, therefore, ergo, i.e., that is the instigation, which is excessive for cleavage. Let me clarify, or excuse me, clarify. In other words, I would probably teach.
All right, if there's no further questions, let's put this to a vote. All those in favor of parole vote aye. Aye. All those opposed vote nay. Nay.
All right, go to the next one. Go to the next one on the Oswald. This is what it's like listening to those hidden colors and these deep dummies and this Umar Johnson,
right.
KRS. Well, this is what it really sounds like. Blah, 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 blah. Modern day pastors. Exactly right. Let's go play that one right there.
Do you secrete a reading dysfunction? Do you have problems putting your words in a colostomy bag? That's why I created this new program called Book on Phonics. I'll teach you how to testiculate mouth. To computate how it works, I will intersect with a perverted deviant by using one of my own penile implants. C, dick, angina. Angina. You know what angina is, don't you? You see, you congratulating your verbs and reading your figures. Impeach me. This, at last, you masturbating faces accelerating at a promiscuous rate. Hey, man, that ain't what that says. Shut up. Suppress your defecation.
Cut that out. Cut that out, brother. Hey, this is what happens when you read books and when you read the Bible that got some understanding. Nah, it ain't what it mean when you learn it from somebody that don't know nothing about it. You read these deep dummy books that they done wrote up themselves. You have no, that ain't what it means. That's what it's like.
Brothers, it's on the website. How many? If you go out to camp or if you go out to flyer missions, how many times have you encountered that brother?
Right.
That brother right there.
Right. That's what it's like.
The deep dummy as
You listen to these airs, they lead you to error. That's what it's like when you listen to these leaders of the black community, these conscious community. They leading you into error just like that. So that's Booker T. Colvin leading us to error. Go to the next one. Ray Hagins. Y'all, some of y'all know Ray Hagins. He hate God. He hate the Bible. It's made up, and none of the people existed in the thing. He still ain't got no answers on how we got from the west coast of Africa to here. Ain't got no answers at all.
And people, the answers, right? And people still pay these people to come and talk.
Right. He used to be a pastor.
Right.
So what turned him against the Bible is that he was learning lies, and he figured out that they was lies and didn't know where to get the truth from. And he said, well, I'm going to start up my own stuff.
And you already know he took a whole bunch of Negroes with him. When he left that thing, he took a whole bunch of gullible Negroes right along with him, leading them to destruction, leading them to error.
Michael Eric Dyson, he's he's the living version of what we saw in Living Colors. With the 14 syllable words that Negroes can't pronounce.
Right.
All the intellectual talk, he's very eloquent what he do, and that still ain't helped our people at all.
And Giuliani shut him up one day.
He said, well, you got problems in the community? Well, do your own.
Police your own community, right? Police yourselves.
So let's just read Isaiah 9:16 again. We're going to go on. Oh, and we're going to go to a video here. Read that.
Isaiah chapter 9, verse 16. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed.
So let's pull up the video of one of these leaders that we just saw, Umar Johnson, right? Let's see this thing, because in the Bible, it tells you to love thy neighbor as thyself. Do no injurious things to your neighbor for everything he does wrong to you. Forgive 70 times 70.
Right.
Watch your words that come out of your mouth. The Bible actually teaches you that. But when you don't know who you are and you follow after these leaders that are destroying you, then your true spirit in you will come out when you're offended.
I think we'll wait until after we play this.
Because this is what happened. This is what happened to him. He was offended by, what's the dude's name? Suran Seti. Yeah, Suran Seti. He was offended by him. Yep. And he, you know what happened? He went, he got hood on him. He got hood on that nigga. Yeah, held all his cards and stuff. So let's see how he handles his problems. Because he's got no spiritual guidance. What happened to all that African spirituality? Pan-Africanism, he talk about when you love your neighbor, and we black people got to put your money together. What happened?
Remember, this is the leader of the conscious community.
Exactly right.
Roll that beautiful beat footage.
You ain't getting away with that shit. You ain't getting away with that shit.
Run back a little bit, because I want to try to see how he started out. And we remind y'all, it is cussing in here, so if you got kids and you don't want them to hear this, you should have them close their ears and go out the room, because he goes hood right here. All right, he goes hood. Go ahead, let that play.
Peace and love, black families, the Prince of Pan-Africanism, Dr. Umar Johnson. You live and direct from Jacksonville, Florida. Live and direct, Black Florida, Jacksonville. Looking forward to tomorrow, Regency Square Mall Event Planning Center. This will be my first time speaking in the good city of Jacksonville since 2012. It's been 5 long years since Dr. Umar Johnson has spoken here in Jacksonville, Florida. So brothers and sisters, I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. Doors open up at 4. Program will be from 6 until 9. And then we will sign books until we get up out of there, Black family. So today what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about the upcoming National Independent Black Parent Association Training Conference.
Does this shirt say I am Nat Turner?
Black Parent Association Training Conference. This is very, very important. This is very, very important because we as a people have grown extremely lazy when it comes to agitation and organization. One of our greatest weaknesses in the post-Dr. King era, one of our greatest weaknesses since Dr. King was taken from us, murdered, assassinated on April 4th, 1968, is that we have not had a serious, sustained, protracted, comprehensive movement for Black elevation. I repeat, since Dr. King's assassination, which will be 50 years in 2 years. Almost 50 years in Black leadership has not given us a sustained, protracted, comprehensive, mass-directed program for Black political, economic empowerment and self-determination. So Dr. Umar Johnson in 2017 is going to be intensifying the Team Pan-African program. In 2017, I'm going to be electrifying the international movement for the independence and protection of African people. For those brothers and sisters who are serious about the Pan-Africanist movement, you will get your chance. We're building a security team as we speak. I want to thank all the brothers and sisters who've been sending me emails who want to be down with the Dr. Umar Johnson African Guards of God Team Pan-African IMIPAP security team. We're working on that. My brothers and sisters who are to film, my brothers and sisters who are into the media, we about to straight take over the whole conscious documentary film producing movement. We about to sack that shit. We taking that over. Nothing but positive consciousness programming in 2017. That's why you made me the Prince of Pan-Africanism. That's why I took over this conscious shit by the fucking throat. And don't worry, when I'm done talking about the Parent Association, I'm gonna deal with Papa Smurf. I'm gonna deal with that little dirty nigga. I heard you albino, and I'm gonna handle your ass tonight, pussy. You ain't getting away with that shit. You should have never came for me, nigga. I never fucked with your little dirty broke ass anyway. Still living in your fucking mama house. What type of grown ass nigga going on 50 still living in his mama house, nigga? Look at my face when you talking to me. This ain't no WWF, nigga. Who the fuck is you, the conscious Hulk Hogan? You the conscious Hulk Hogan? Papa Smurf? Motherfucker, you look like Tattoo from Fantasy Island with your stupid ass. Who the fuck is you? Randy Macho Man, Seti Savage? You's a fucking nut, nigga. You's a fucking nut. What platform you got? What platform you got, nigga? You's a dirty nigga. Sonetta built your nut ass. Now you want it with the prince, nigga? You the general? Well, I'm the prince, nigga. The general answers to the prince. I call the fucking shots, you dirty midget. Fucking albino nigga. Your problem is you got an inferiority complex. Don't blame me for that shit. I'm not the reason you look like a fucking cracker, nigga. Dr. Umar ain't the reason you look like a fucking cracker. This ain't Sonetta talking. This me, nigga. I stands my own ground. I ride alone, nigga. I don't need nobody backing me. Fuck you calling niggas on the phone for? You got something to say to me? Why you calling men up on the phone for? Speak your speech, nigga. Speak your speech, nigga. Speak your speech. You built like that? I got some shit for you. Y'all ready for this, family? Y'all ready for this? I'm in Detroit Friday, nigga. I challenge you to a debate in your own fucking city. I'm in Detroit Friday, little nigga. Let's debate. My lecture will be from 6 to 8, and I charge Papa fucking Smurf. I charge Minnie Mouse to a 1-hour debate on who really runs the RBG Black Consciousness Movement.
Oh, stop it right there. Woo. Stop it right there. What? Look at that. This is your leaders in the Black community. He's the prince. He's the prince of this Black conscious movement, nigga.
Say it with your chest. Cause he got the beanie in there. You know, the red man with the beanie with the fluff on top of it. The little fluff on top of it.
Oh, he was from the Wu-Tang or something. How can you be a gangster intellectual? You supposed to be peaceful, using your mind. He was talking all that like I'ma bust this dick, I'ma bust him up when I see him. Nigga, I challenge you to a debate. What is going on?
When I see you, we gonna talk.
We gonna talk. Speak your speech, nigga. Man, I'm telling y'all. Read that again, Isaiah 9:16. Y'all don't know how many levels this thing got, man. Wow. This is a psychologist that counsels, or he's supposed to be a world famous child psychologist.
Right. You know what? Right. Now, if he's supposed to be mentoring black parents to be better black parents, and mentoring young black boys to be good fathers and good brothers to each other, how after that? I don't care if he lost it for a split second or not. But how after that can you actually be taken or think to yourself that you can be taken seriously?
And look at it too. He revealed his true colors, because it's not about empowering or bettering the black community.
Exactly.
It's about who's the best.
That's it. That's it.
It's vainglory is what it's called. Let's get that back.
When you watch the other guy that he's talking about, when you watch him, he's actually talking about the both of them. They're talking about how much money they generate when they go to these different cities and teach. So they're not talking about empowering the black community. They're talking about boosting their pockets up.
Yep, exactly.
Getting rich off black folks.
Yep.
By doing nothing but talking.
Let's go to Philippians chapter 2, verse 2. Remember, if all of this black consciousness is supposed to be trying to better our people, why is everybody trying to one up on everybody? I'm the best at this. I'm the prince of this. What platform you got?
Oh, man.
Call him a midget. And it also shows that he still suffers, all this black consciousness, he still suffers from Stockholm syndrome.
Right,
Talking about, nigga, I ain't the reason why you look white.
Right. Oh, wow.
Just because he's light-skinned.
Right.
Dark-skinned versus light-skinned. That Negro's Willie Lynch.
Willie Lynch.
Damn.
Willie Lynch. And the thing about it too is, again, when you watch the other guy that he's talking about, he calls Dr. Umar a suit and tie. That's all he is, just a suit. So of course, this brother gonna get on YouTube or on Facebook or wherever he did this, put on a Scully
like he's hard.
Right, and fold his arms up and talk crazy.
Read that in Philippians 2, verse 1 through 3. If they had known who they was and read this Bible, known they was Israelites, they would have been applying this at the get-go.
Bring it out. Philippians chapter 2, verse 1. If there be therefore any consolation in Christ, if any comfort of love, if any fellowship of the Spirit,
any fellowship, read on.
If any vows and mercies, fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind. Let nothing be done through strife. Through what? Strife. Or vain glory.
That's all we saw right there. Strife and vain glory. Hey, who said you got this? I'm better than you. I'm the prince. Read on.
But in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves.
Neither one of them, Siron Seti or Umar Johnson, your leaders that are destroying you in this black community, they don't see that either one of them is better than themselves.
Right.
That neither one of them humble themselves down and say that. Now, he came back in some apology, but now you showed your true colors right here. That's what happened. Go back to Isaiah 9 and read verse 17 now. Because it's a cause and effect for all of that. Don't think it's just that you get destroyed and it's over with. No. It's deeper than that. Read verse 17.
Isaiah chapter 9, verse 17. Therefore, the Lord shall have no joy in their young men.
So now, Isaiah 9:17. So now, because you are caught up in this whole Pan-Africanism stuff and you are following the leaders that are destroying you, God says, I have no joy in the young man that are following after this stuff.
That's right.
No joy in them. Read on.
Neither shall have mercy on their fatherless and widows.
He said, no mercy. We see it. We get gunned down. We in bad situations everywhere we go. Bad health care. The Native Americans are brothers that God calls Gad in the Bible. He just once again reminded them that you're in the land of your enemies.
Not in your rest.
Once again.
Exactly. Not in your rest. Yep.
Puerto Rico, you so-called Puerto Ricans, you are Ephraim in the Bible. He reminded you. You following all this BS leaders that caused you to err. He reminded you, you not American. Venezuela, you ain't got nothing to do. You in debt. You $70 billion in debt. Venezuela, you ain't got no food.
Right.
Read on.
For everyone is an hypocrite and an evildoer.
There you go. We just saw. He said every one of them a hypocrite. They really ain't about what they talking about.
Because they're saying that they love God, or they have a God that they love, or they're doing it for the people.
Right.
But they're hypocrites. Read on, bro.
Read on.
And every mouth speak of folly.
It does what?
And every mouth speak of folly.
That foolishness that is speaking is that you Africans.
That's period.
That's what it is. That's the foolishness that every one of your leaders are speaking.
That's right. That's
Look
right.
at that real quick.
Luke, give me Luke 16 and 15. Because again, our people follow wholeheartedly after the Dr. Umar Johnsons, the Michael Eric Dysons, the Cornel West, the Phil Valentines. We follow wholeheartedly after these people, thinking that what we can gain from them could actually change the situation of our people as a whole.
Right.
But all they do is talk. The brother just said, when I come to Detroit, I challenge you to a debate. I challenge you to talk a little bit about who is the one who's at the head of the conscious community. Read what you got, bro.
Luke chapter 16, verse 15.
Come on.
And he said unto them, Ye are they which justify yourself before men.
They what?
Ye are they which justify yourself before men.
The brother started the video saying, I am the prince of the conscious community.
Right.
Read on.
But God knoweth your heart.
He does what?
But God knoweth your heart.
He know you ain't about nothing but filling your pockets, man.
Yep.
Read on.
For that which is highly esteemed among men,
Come on.
is abomination.
It's a what?
Is abomination
You're filth.
in the sight of God.
You're filth in the sight of God. You're nothing.
Nothing to God.
All of that is nothing. All your boast about you the king of the unconscious conscious community. All this madness about how much you can generate in the community and nothing.
So if you walking around with this knowledge that they done gave you, you're a deep dummy. God said that don't mean
Nothing. It means absolutely nothing.
nothing, because it ain't doing nothing for your people at all. You ain't changing nobody's lives. You know why? Because ain't no commandments with that whole stuff.
Nothing. Yep. Nothing that can actually truly change the people.
Right.
And it looks we sit here and we look at it with spiritual eyes, and all we can do is laugh at it. Because it's the same thing the Most High is doing. He's looking at them like, these brothers really think they know something about how to change my people. I made them.
I don't even know the continent's named after white man. They said, they deep. Let me put the spirit of my prophet some more to talk about this. That's Psalms 85:11. So you're being led away and destroyed, but this is what's happening right now. Read that.
Psalm chapter 85, verse 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth.
And that's what's happening right now on the signs of the times. Truth is springing out of the earth. It's going into the four corners of the earth. It's going over to China. It's in Australia. It's in Africa on the west coast.
For free.
For free.
For free.
It's in the four corners of America. It's in Central America. It's in South America. It's up in Canada. This truth is springing out of the earth. And how does it get there? By you on Periscope. You're sharing it on your Facebook. You won't use your Facebook for more than just memes.
Right.
You're sharing it on Facebook with different people. You're using your Facebook for more than just rap videos.
Right.
Selfies. You're putting truth on there, that it can go throughout all the earth and wake up the Israelites, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that are scattered and have forgotten who they are.
And every one of the people that are doing that, sharing it on the social media networks, Those who are watching on Periscope and sharing it with their family, or wherever, or sharing it with friends. Those of you on the website, sharing it or watching it or taking what you learn and spreading it, to whoever may ask you what you believe.
Right.
You're fulfilling this. You're fulfilling prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
You're fulfilling this prophecy.
Truth is springing out of the
Exactly.
earth. Psalms 85. Read it again.
Psalm chapter 85, verse 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven.
And who is the righteousness? Is God.
That's right.
He looks down from heaven. If this truth is going everywhere, and guess what he does? He opens more doors to it. You see Bishop Nathaniel is going to Ghana to wake up the lost tribes of Israel that's still over there. He's going over to the United Kingdom, waking up our people that were scattered there.
Mexico.
And going down to Mexico, waking up our Hispanic brothers down there.
That's right.
Doing radio shows in Belgium.
Right.
Radio shows in Libya. Not Libya, Liberia.
Yeah. Yeah.
God is looking down on this thing and seeing that, okay, they're getting serious. So let me put some more truth in this earth right now. And guess what? You finding it out right now, the signs of the times, that we giving you real black history for the month.
That's right.
That you are the Israelites according to the Bible.
That's right.
And by the Spirit of the Most High, I pray you receive some understandings and share this with your family members so you can show them like, hey, Black History Month is full of BS. Daddy.
Straight up.
And look at this video because they got books and they got a part 1 to this thing too to show all the prophets and all the people of the Bible were black. Show them things when you see that. So it says truth is going to spring out of the earth, and God looks down on this thing and is pleased. Give me John 8:32.
And when you show them this kind of stuff, ask them, how come they don't teach us this in school?
Right.
Well, how come?
Did you go to college? Because I went to college. I went to college.
You go offend some people
I
when you say
took
that.
psychology. I took some African American studies. I took it in high school, and I thought I was halfway smart,
Right.
Because I got a degree,
Right.
And I come to find out once I knew I was Israel, I had no idea who I was. I had no clue about my own history. But you know what they taught me? They taught me the presidents. They taught me who Sigmund Freud was.
Wow.
They taught me the Battle of Armageddon. But I knew nothing about my own self in the Bible. And that's why Job said, prepare yourself, because once you find out, it's going to be a journey. It's going to be a journey to find out how much they have kept hidden from you. Read that in John 8:32.
John chapter 8, verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
The truth is that we are the Israelites and that our enemies have covered up our nationality.
That's you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
And they have gave to your conscious community leaders false information, and they have ran with it and have made money off of it. They are prospering from it.
Right.
How many, look at it, listen to this. Just think, because if that was the truth of who we are for real, well, how come people ain't paying Bishop Nathaniel to go around and teach his truth? Like they pay them to come and speak that foolishness that they do. Because they know Bishop Nathaniel showed up on the scene with that real truth that's going to set us free, like Jesus Christ said.
I got scripture for that.
Everything's going to shut down.
I got scripture for that.
Christmas gone out the window. Thanksgiving gone. Your Pan-Africanism gone. Your Hotep gone. What you got?
Give me Jeremiah chapter 5. Jeremiah
Hold it in John 8, because we're coming back.
Let me get right to the point. Verse 31.
Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 31.
Come on.
The prophets prophesy falsely.
Come on.
And the priests bear rule by their maids.
So these are the leaders.
Yeah.
These are the leaders. The leaders prophesy falsely. I mean, they're teaching you wrong things. They're teaching you lies. And they rule by their own means. They're going to get your money and teach you how to build an economy, how to build up your neighborhoods. By what?
Right.
By whatever philosophy they can come up with that the white man
guess
taught
what
them.
happened to it? It will crumble.
That's all. Read on.
And my people love to have it so.
So that's why they won't pay Bishop Nathaniel
Right.
to go worldwide and
They
teach
talking about what
they want to hear. Exactly.
That's why.
So they'll pay $15,000 for this brother or whoever to come and teach them lies because they love to have it
John
so.
8. And that's why we are still in bondage to this day.
That's
Because
exactly.
the truth is just now going out into all the earth. And once it reaches, like it says in Matthew, once it reaches all the people it's supposed to reach, then the end's going to come. But right now, until that time comes, you need to find out the truth of who you are so you can be set free. Read that again.
John chapter 8, verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
How's it going to make you free? It's going to make you free of all the lies and all the confusion. From all your so-called leaders that have piled on confusion, lie after lie after lie on top of lie. The truth of who you are is going to clear up all of those. Maybe you on the riding the fence right now that you understand that this is stuff. This is, man, that sounds right, but I just don't know because I learned all this stuff from Umar Johnson, Ivan Van Sertima, Ben Yakinen was around in the 70s and the 80s, KRS-One, or Cornel West. I'm kind of confused. Well, God, Jesus Christ said, you going to learn the truth, and that's going to make you free. Right. It's going to make you free of confusion. Right. No doubts in your mind. And we're going to piece the thing together for you here today. Go to Luke 21 now.
Let's do it.
Well, before we get there, go to Deuteronomy, because I got to tell you who you are.
Right.
So all this other stuff can make sense, so you can find out who you are in the Bible and know.
Put the pieces together. Yep.
Put the pieces together. That's what happens first. First comes your identity. That's what it says in 1 Kings 8, right?
Right.
You think yourself. Remember who you are. Then comes repentance.
Right.
So after you find out who you are, you repent from your sins, begin keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of God. Now you can make a search for your fathers. And as you search for that history, there's no confusion because you know your foundation is, I'm Israel from the jump. Read that in what I just called. Yeah, Deuteronomy 28, read verse 15. We're going to get through this quick.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
The voice of God is found in the Bible. It's not found on videos with Umar Johnson, Sarah Seti. It's not found in no book that Ivan Van Sertima, Francis Wilson done ever. It ain't found on the Hidden Colors with Tariq Nasheed, Phil Valentine. The voice of God is not found there. Read on.
To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
But the voice of God tells you to keep his commandments and live. Thou shalt not. Read on.
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So if we didn't listen to God's commandments, he said, I'm going to put curses on you. No matter where you're scattered to, they're going to follow you and consume you, right? So let's go to verse 32.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
So one of those curses was our sons and daughters will be given to another people. Our ancestors' sons and daughters was given, taken from them, given to another people. That other people was the so-called white man, first and foremost. It was also the Arab man in the trans-Sahara slave trade. They had you Negroes as slaves. That's how you became Muslims. The Chinese had you as slaves. You built the Great Wall of China during the Qing Dynasty.
Right.
Those East Indians had you as slaves also. That's why they got relics on their wall of Israelites, black people being carried away in captivity.
And they're still there.
They're still there. Read on.
And thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thy hand.
So that happened to us. Our sons and daughters was given away to another people. Verse 41.
Verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters.
Still talking about our kids, God is. Because he knows black people, Hispanic people, and Native Americans. We love our kids. Read on.
But thou shalt not enjoy them.
For what reason?
For they shall go into captivity.
To what?
Into captivity.
Another word for captivity is slavery. Your sons and daughters will be taken from you and then given to another people in slavery. How do we go into slavery? Verse 64 first.
Okay. Verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
We were scattered. That's how our sons and daughters was given to another people in slavery. They were scattered from one people to another. all over the nation.
And that's exactly what we read earlier in Deuteronomy 32 and 26. God said, I will scatter them.
So they was given to another people from one end of the earth to the other. And how we get from one end of the earth to the other. Verse 68.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
How was we scattered? Read on.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt,
into slavery, because the Israelites were in slavery in Egypt under Pharaoh, Ramses. That's why Moses had to say is to Pharaoh in Egypt, let my people go. They was in slavery. So he's reminding the Israelites, I'm going to put you into slavery again,
again with ships.
That's how we got scattered from one end of the earth to the other, and our sons and daughters was given to another people. Read on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
So we were scattered by slave ships and never to see our homeland again. Israel.
Homeland being Jerusalem.
And there you shall be sold unto your enemies.
So once you get off the ships, you were sold to your enemies. Not your friends, not your buddies, not your pal friends, none of that. So we were sold to our enemies. Read on.
For bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
Cornel West can't save you. Buy you means save you. Cornel West couldn't save you. Umar Johnson can't save you. KRS-One can't save you. Ivan Van Sertima, Francis Weldon, Phil Vandertat can't save you out of this thing. It happened.
Fred Hampton couldn't save you. Malcolm X.
No. Go to verse 48. So what happened when we got off the ships? What happened to us as a people when we get off the ship? We read our history in the Bible. Read that, verse 48.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies.
We served our enemies when we got off those slave ships. And we're going to find out where. Read on.
Which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst.
For food, for water.
And in nakedness.
For clothing. Read on.
And in want of all things.
If we wanted anything, we had to serve the people that brought us in slavery.
What did the Bible just call those people?
Read it again.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
So our so-called leaders are getting their education from who?
From our enemies. Your pastors getting taught by your enemies in the theology schools. Your conscious community is getting their understanding from Gerald Massey, your enemy, and taking it and running with it and making it fit you and sound better to you in today's time. Read on in that.
Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
No, back to down at the bottom. The one of all things. Read on.
And one of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron,
an enemy,
upon thy neck until he have destroyed
thee. That destruction is evident what we see when we in all kind of confusion, all kind of different religions, different thoughts, different philosophies, right? So we serve our enemies. Where do we serve our enemies at? Verse 16.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
I'll start with the latter half. It said, cursed shalt thou be in the field. When we got off those slave ships, our sons and daughters was given to another people, and we served our enemies with chains on our necks, and we served them in the fields.
Sugar cane, tobacco,
cotton. You see how descriptive the Bible is about real black history?
Right.
It's showing you why you got into that predicament, because verse 15 said you didn't want to listen to the voice of God and keep the commandments. So we served our enemies in the field. How do you serve them in the city now? You get up every day and go to that job early in the morning.
60 hours a week, some of y'all.
So you can't call off when you want to.
The graveyard shift.
The graveyard shift. You got to work when they tell you to work. You can't have time off unless they tell you it's a national holiday.
Right. You can't even be around your kids to teach them anything because you're at work.
Yep. Exactly. That's how you serve your enemy today in the city. So that Deuteronomy 28 is the most prevalent chapter in the book because it tells you who you are according to the Bible. That's real black history for you right there. That stuff happened to us. That's facts, right?
Christ called it the truth.
Did Jesus talk about us going into slavery?
Absolutely.
Let's see if he did. Luke chapter 21. Because remember here on the Signs of the Times, we give you real black history for the month.
Read it out. Luke chapter 21, verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies.
So he's prophesying. He's prophesying. You see compassed with armies. Compassed with what armies? We'll read the history book that tells you what armies. Read on.
Then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
The destruction of Jerusalem is near. Read on.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountain.
Flee where?
To the mountain.
Where was those mountains that Jesus was talking about? Matthew 2:13. Let's see. What was those mountains that he told the people in Jerusalem to flee to? Was it in the Sahara Desert? Did he tell them to flee into China? Did he tell them to flee into Rome? Let's see where he told them to flee to.
Matthew chapter 2, verse 13. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise and take the young child and his mother and flee.
And what?
And flee.
And flee.
Into Egypt.
Into where?
Egypt.
Into Egypt.
So why would he tell Joseph and take his children and his wife to Egypt?
Make you wonder.
Because as we've been taught growing up, Jesus was white, right? So why
and our Pan-African leaders, they
tell you that Jesus was white.
They tell you the Egyptians was black.
They said the Egyptians were black.
So according to them, you had a white baby hiding out amongst a bunch of black people in Egypt, and the Romans who was looking for them couldn't find them. That don't make no sense. That's why God said your leaders are causing you to err, destroying you. So the mountains, go back to Luke chapter 21 and 21 now.
Luke chapter 21, verse 21. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them
which flee to the mountains of Egypt. Right. Because there's other black people there, brown people, that you can hide amongst them. And they'll think you look just like them, and they'll think you one of them, and they'll leave you alone. Because they mistake Paul, like we brought out on Real Black History Part 1. They thought Paul was an Egyptian. Moses was an Egyptian. So those are the mountains he fled to was in Egypt. Read on.
And let them which are in the midst of it depart out. And let not them that are in the countries enter thereunto.
Don't come back. Read on.
For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled.
Which are what?
That all things which are written may be fulfilled.
The things that we read about in Deuteronomy 28, where God said, these things shall come to pass. Now it was for the time for those to come to pass when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies. Read on.
But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people.
Wrath upon this people. Read on.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
We're about to read exactly what we read in Deuteronomy 28, 15 through 68, summed up in a few verses here. Read on.
And shall be led away captive.
As what?
And shall be led away captive.
Slaves, like we read it, it said, your sons and daughters shall go into captivity, right?
And your son and you will not enjoy them.
And not enjoy them. So we're going to be led away as slaves.
Into all nations.
To where?
All nations.
Give it to another people. Give it to another people. We read it, verse 64, Deuteronomy 28, 64. You shall be scattered among all nations, among all people.
That's right.
The same exact thing we read in Deuteronomy 28. The same thing Jesus is quoting again in a different way.
So did that actually happen? Is the Bible true?
Let's finish out verse 24.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles.
So the real Israelites, the real Jews were going to be kicked out, led away captive into all nations. And then a different people that God said they Gentiles would come in and stay there until we came back, right? Those people nowadays are called Jewish.
Right.
Converts.
Wait, read that last part again. From Gentiles? And then
Jerusalem.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles.
So no
you Negroes, you are not Gentiles. Because
Exactly
you
right.
Negroes cannot find in no kind of history where you destroyed Jerusalem.
Right. Right. Ain't there? We know who destroyed Jerusalem. Let's get it. Matter of fact, give me that book in Babylon and Timbuktu. Let's get it. We're going to go, I think it's what, page 84, right?
Page 84, yes.
Page 84. We are going to connect the dots and give you real black history for the month. We already proved in the Bible, yeah, that's it, that it talks about certain people being scattered all over the world on slave ships and serving their enemies. We read where Jesus is talking about these people that are in Judea will be led away captive into all nations, right?
Yep.
So let's see if we can see the history behind that. Go ahead.
What we're about to read in this history book is not exclusive.
Right.
You can go right now and Google Roman and Jewish, the Roman and Jewish War, and exactly what we're about to read is going to say it pretty much word for word. So this is something where it's not hidden. This is not hidden history because of the pride of those Gentiles who destroyed Jerusalem. They put it in books. They got it on the internet.
We got books where it's written by Jewish people, white people.
Mm-hmm.
You open a book and it's full of black people called the Israelites. You don't see it talk about white people being Jewish people until 1948.
That's it. That's because that's when the Jewish state started.
So what about those people Jesus talking about that was led away captive?
What happened to them?
Where did they go? Let's see what the historians know about those people that fled away captive or led away captive. Read that. Let's see who destroyed Jerusalem.
From Babylon to Timbuktu.
What page is it?
Page 84.
Uh-huh.
In the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 78.
The who? The who armies?
The Roman armies.
Now we know who Jesus was talking about when you see Jerusalem surrounded, compassed with what? He said in Luke 21:20, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies. It was the Roman armies, Caucasians. This is why this is called real black history. We're bringing the Bible to life, showing you that what Jesus talked about is in the history books. It's recorded.
Show me where the Egyptians said that.
Right. Show me that on the hieroglyph walls.
Right.
Read on.
Under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period of the military governance of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated.
Estimated because it can be more than this. It was estimated. We're going to give it a roundabout number. Read on.
That over 1 million Jews.
How many?
That over 1 million.
If you've been anywhere and you see 100,000 people in one area, you was like, dang, it's a lot of people here. Just imagine if it was 1 million over a million. Wow. Read on.
Jews fled into Africa.
They did what?
Fled into Africa.
Ain't that what Jesus just told us to do?
Into the mountains.
He said, flee into the mountains, and those mountains were in Egypt, the same place that God told Joseph to flee into. Flee into Egypt, right? Read on.
Fleeing from Roman persecution.
Running from the white man. Read on.
And slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jews.
The what?
The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves.
Let me read verse 24 in Luke 21 again. Luke 21:24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive, led away as slaves into all nations. Read that part again. What was the slave markets full of?
The slave markets.
The captive markets
were full of black Jewish slaves.
It was full of Jews. He has to say black because when black people hear the word Jew, they think of white people.
Right.
So he has to let you know that it's talking about you. You was in Jerusalem in 70 AD. You was in Jerusalem before that with David, Solomon, all the way up from the time that we took over. With Joshua. Those your forefathers.
You are the Israelites.
You the Israelites that was chased out of there for your sins. But it didn't just stop there, because we got some more. Because look, we didn't just stop and ran into Africa. We didn't just stop there, right? Go to page 88. Page 88, I think it is. We get some more of this real black history, right? The last paragraph, right? We'll start with the between. Page 88. Oh, this is what I got right here. Yeah. Let's see where we at. Right there. Right there. Yep, and on down.
For Babylon and Timbuktu, page 88. Between the 2nd and the 3rd centuries, the black Jews of Arabia continued migrating across the Red Sea to Ethiopia. The largest exodus of the Jews occurred during the persecution by the Arabs led by Muhammad.
So he was jacking you up too. Read on.
He has said on his dying bed that he wanted Islam to be supreme throughout all of Arabia.
That's why most of you Negroes believe in Islam. All right. That's the black man's religion. No, it's not. Read on.
There was a Jewish tribe called Rakab, which crossed the Red Sea and migrated to the extreme point of the Western Sudan in Africa.
Read on.
At the same time that the Jews were migrating westward.
Because we had to flee out of Jerusalem, right? Read on.
Across the Sudan from Ethiopia. They also migrated southward from Libya.
So now we know, now we understand the places that we was fleeing. We didn't stop when we ran into Egypt.
Yep.
We kept going. We ran into Libya, North Africa, Tunisia, North Africa, Algeria, North Africa, Morocco, North Africa. Read on.
To the further region between the Senegal, and Niger
Rivers. Read on.
When the Jews from the north and the east met between these two rivers, they established a confluence or crossroad in West Rivers.
In West what?
In West Africa.
In West Africa, right? So we see it now how we went to all of these different, we went from Egypt, we went to all these places in the north, and we kept going down the coastline of Africa to the west coast of Africa, right? And now go to page 90. I'm going to show you something. Because that wasn't the only place that we was at when we went out of Jerusalem. We was in some other places too. Page 90. Let's see here. I want you to read the last paragraph. The black Jews.
Page 90.
I'm going to show you something. We're going to tie it in with these books we got around here.
The black Jews had an advantage over the African tribes.
So you smarter than the Africans that these leaders are telling you to go back and be like.
Right.
Say Khufu. Remember, look back in the past. That's what it's called. The little duck that got two heads. Say Khufu.
They carried their culture, history, laws, and written records.
We did what?
They carried their culture, history, laws, and written records.
That's why I told you that we are the greatest historians to ever walk the face of the earth. We recorded everything where we went. That's why they dope you up with this whole Pan-Africanism, so you can't understand that, hey, my forefathers was wise and understanding people and great historians, because they recorded everything. And guess what? My forefathers were so cold with the pen, they could write down metaphors of the history and decode and hide it. It's where it can only be decoded by the future generations that's going to read it. That's how cold our ancestors was with history. They didn't just write down something like, yeah, we walked and we went across the river and then we sat down. No, we crossed the waters that the Most High created in the beginning. And it went southward and it blew westward. And you see all the metaphors that are in the Bible.
Come on now, you know we got
that's what all these cats is right today. We know metaphors.
Come on. So, and on top of that, to back you up on that, right? It says their culture, the history, laws, and the written records. Don't you understand that that's one and the same?
Right.
That's all one and the same. Everything we read in the Bible is our culture, the law, statutes, and commandments. Right? Our history is the law, statutes, and commandments. Right? Our feast days, the Sabbath, and so on.
Records will show you why those things happen, because you broke the law, statutes, and commandments.
So that's how you know today. The reason why you know, or you will come to find out that you're an Israelite, is because of those written records, your history, your culture, the laws of God. And just like you said, we were so cold with it when we wrote it. It made it so that you had to go certain places in order to find out the rest of the meaning. So you see, Psalms,
here.
right?
Right. It says in Psalms 111 and 10, a good understanding have all they that do the commandments.
Right.
So where did you have to go? To the law, to your written records, to your culture, your history, in order for you to truly understand
And
what
guess
was
what?
written.
And the Most High pulled that spirit on our ancestors,
Right.
to be able to write that history records down like that, so it can only be decoded once His spirit enters
Exactly.
into you. So you couldn't just be a regular Negro and be following Pan-Africanism, be in Buddhism, and think you can pick up in Christianity and pick up your history records and think you can understand it.
Yeah. That's why
it's spiritual.
That's why this could never be the white man's book. That's why this couldn't be the Arab man's book. That's why this couldn't be the Chinese man's book. Because nobody but the Israelites were given these laws and these written records to understand who it's talking about today, for them to rule the earth as it's supposed to.
Exactly right. Finish on in that Timbuktu.
This assured them a constant proceeding for the development of a higher social organization. Because of the stability of the black Jewish culture, the Jews were not absorbed into the obnoxious population.
The base. That's what it's talking about, the base population.
Right.
They ran out of Egypt. They ran out of Israel into Africa. They came across these people like, man, these are some base people. Bones in their nose and plates in their lips. Those real Africans.
Those are real Africans.
These Pan-African people never want to claim them Africans, do they?
Nope.
Ain't them your people too? No, just the Egyptians. Get out of here with that mess. Read on.
In fact, the Jews, every opportunity absorbed. The Jews absorbed some of the native tribes.
So they was like, man, look at these people. Let me be like them.
They gotta be like us. The Jews made use of every opportunity. They were an industrious and skillful people.
Just like we are today.
Nothing's changed. Go on. And the Jewish Ghanaian states were found kings.
Ghana's on the west coast. Go ahead.
Princes, governors, generals, secretaries, treasurers, revenue, agents, judges, architects, engineers, doctors, historians, language interpreters, mathematicians, jewelers, sculptors, masons, carpenters, painters of art, goldsmiths, leather workers,
read on,
potters, armorers, saddlers, blacksmiths, agriculture, etc.
So
even more.
These weren't Africans that was doing all that stuff on the west coast. These was Jews. These were Israelites.
And wait a minute. It went back. You go back and says this assured them, having these laws, these written records, right? It assured them a constant precedent for the development of a higher social organization. Keep that in mind. Everything we just mentioned, that this book just mentioned, governors, generals, secretaries, kings, priests, revenues, everything that you need to start a nation, to build a nation within a nation. We had it, and we took it everywhere we went. That's why the other nations wanted so much to be like us, even to this very day.
So look, we went into those areas in Africa, and guess where else we went to? We was also found in Europe. That's why it's called what you know as the Dark Ages, the Middle Ages. Let's prove that. That it was black people there up in Europe.
Oh, man. Bring that out.
Where's the book at? I want to show you something here. Let's read this first. Let's read this here, and we in the book right now called Nature Knows No Color Line, right? So let me show you something here about these people, about these Israelites. Read that right here on page, I think it's 123. And let's see what it says about these people that was in Northeast Africa and all these areas, and was also in Spain. They was what you know as Moors, and we're going to prove that out of the book here too. Get that from me, that they was actually Israelites. So let's read that about the people that was in Spain. They called the Moors, that ruled for 1,000 years. Go ahead.
This is from the book Nature Knows No Color Line. Page 123. Waite says, an interesting gradation of all shades down to the black is exhibited by the Jews, especially dark were the Jews of Spain.
It was what?
Especially dark were the Jews of Spain.
Dark was the Jews of Spain. So when we ran out of Jerusalem, we also ran up into Europe. It said, especially dark was the Jews of Spain. Read on.
And we ran with our records.
With our records, it's going to say that. Go ahead.
And Portugal. The Portuguese Jews were very dark, said Pritchard. These Duchess, Diabetes, wife of Napoleon ambassador to Portugal, said that the Jew, the Negro, and the Portuguese could be seen in a single person.
So he said, when you look at one person, you look at the Jew, you look at the Negro and the Portuguese Jews that was in Portugal, they all look like the same exact people. Because they are all the same people. Called by different names, but they're all the same people right there.
So that too, Jeremiah 14:2. But that's funny because we still are yet to hear from our Pan-Africanist scholars and so on and so forth. We're yet to hear from them any of this history.
Right. They don't mention anything about black people being in Europe. So let's see. Read that last part. Hold your finger right here, right there, and read that last part and go to the next one. Go ahead.
Page 123. Many of the Jews who were banished from Portugal.
They was what?
Were banished from Portugal by John II, settled in the West Indies.
Hold on, the Jews that was banished from Portugal did what?
By John II, settled in the West Indies.
They settled in the West Indies. Jews from Portugal, from Spain, was in the West Indies?
Black people.
Why don't they calling people Jamaicans? Well, we got a history book that says them people was Jews. Let's see if we can read this somewhere else that they was in Spain and left out of there, right? Let's get some history here. We got another history book. This is called Christopher Columbus and the Participation of the Jews. Let's read that. Read that part for them. Tell them the page too.
Page 81.
I hope y'all paying attention to this real black history where the Israelites that were in Jerusalem fled out where they went to. Go ahead.
The expulsion of the Jews from Spain.
The what?
The expulsion of the Jews from Spain.
There's another book saying that the Jews were exposed from Spain. And now, what we just read in that Nature Knows No Color line, that the Jews in Spain were especially dark people. So now we got a color behind these people that was expelled from Spain. Read on.
It's closely connected with Columbus' expedition and with the discovery of America, not merely externally in point of time, but also intrinsically.
Let me see the word.
Intrinsically.
Oh, intrinsically.
Not in January, as Columbus asserts in his journal, but on March 31st, 1492, the Catholic monarch sent forth from the palace of the Alhambra the edict that all Jews and Jewess of every age shall, on pain of death, leave all the kingdoms and lands of Spain within 4 months.
So they got kicked out of Spain, right? So let's see this. Go to page 124 in Babylon to Timbuktu. Don't lose your place. I'll get it back. Page 124, and I want you to read the second paragraph right there. I hope y'all paying attention to this history. We in a bunch of different ones, but we piecing this thing together. Go ahead.
Babylon and Timbuktu.
Hold on. The scripture says, by the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall a matter be established.
Right. So we read what the Jews was kicked out of Spain. We ran out of Jerusalem. We ran into all kind of countries. We ran into Spain. We ran into Africa, Tunisia, all these places, right?
Bring it out. From Babylon and Timbuktu, page 124. The black Jews came to Africa not only by land, but also by sea. As you recall, in the year 1484, King John of Portugal deported great number.
Hold this right here. Where you at? Let me read his name in here again, what it just said, right? It said here, what does it say here? The expulsion of the Jews from Spain, right? And it said the Catholic, the Jews and Jewesses of every age. Oh, we ain't got to it in here. Go ahead. We're going to get back on this when we come back. Read that again.
The black Jews came to Africa, not only by land, but also by sea. As you recall, In the year 1484, King John of Portugal deported great numbers of black Jews to the African island of Santome.
No, Santome. Go ahead.
The island of Santome, near Nigeria and the Cameroon, was discovered by the Portuguese in 1471, and it was established as a penal colony. To this island, Jews were sent who would not accept baptism. It is obvious that the Jews were deported to Santome not only to mete out punishment to them, but King John's ulterior motive was to establish a commercial base with sophisticated black Jews and his growing empire in Africa.
So we reading it again where we was shipped to any country we wanted to, right? Go back to this book right here. Now we in before the Mayflower, right? Let's see what it says right here about these black people that were kicked out of Spain, right? Let's read that right here. I think it is it. Spain to the expatriation. Okay. All right, here we go, right here. Let's read that part. All right there. The green, the highlighted parts. All right.
It says, before the Mayflower, page 34, Spaniards who took the lead in the exploration attempted at first to enslave Indians, but they died so fast that Bishop Bartolome Las Casas, a famous missionary, recommended in 1517 the importation of Africans,
which are really Israelites, right? So now we're reading where we piecing it together, kicked out of Jerusalem for our sins. The Roman armies compassed us, right? We fled into all these different areas of Spain and Africa. Spain kicked us out from where we was because we were so much better than they was, right? So we fled into Africa once again from Spain down on the west coast of Africa, right? And now we got at the same time on the other side of the earth that our northern kingdom brothers are catching hell. Bartolome de la Casa said, go get some Africans. You see how all of this stuff is lining up at the same time? One thing's happening on the side of the earth, and it's happening on that side of the earth too, and it comes together at the same exact time. Same thing happening right now. We catching hell right here in our country, and our brothers in South and Central America catching hell at the same time.
Right.
By the same people.
Oppressed together.
Together. Jump down to the next part right there.
An estimated million of these slaves found their way to the land that became the United States of America. Mm-hmm. But the first black immigrants, Anthony, Isabella, and the Jamestown group were not slaves.
All right, so now the first group that came over here wasn't slaves, you know what I'm saying? And they eventually became slaves, right? So read this part right here. Back in, they should know no color line, right? So they was deported. They could go to anywhere else they wanted to by the king of Spain, right? So they went to this part. They went to Ptolemy. They went to that part, right? Let's see what we know about the when they left, because it said that the Jews left Spain and settled in the West Indies, right? Read that.
Nature knows no color line, page 65. The Negro came first to the Indies from Spain.
Hold on, he did what?
The Negro came first to the Indies from Spain.
From Spain.
Not from Africa.
Not from Africa. Because they was kicked out from Spain in what? What did it say here? Let me read it again. In Spain, it says here, the expulsion of Jews from Spain is closely connected with Columbus's expedition and with the discovery of America. Not merely externally in point of time, but also intrinsically, not in January as Columbus asserts in his journal, but on March 31st, 1492. Damn. So before this even went down, there was Jews already coming over here from Spain because they was expelled
from Spain. Wow.
Real black history that we ain't never learned before. That I never knew that we came from slave ships from Spain.
I mean,
I didn't know we was in Spain.
if you go to college and rack up like 16,000 in tuition, you still ain't gonna learn that.
You still ain't gonna learn that. Go ahead and read what you got. Let me see this again.
All right, so this is basically this is a Babylon and Timbuktu. Now, what we're about to read right now is going to show you how now why we call ourselves of African American and why we don't know our history. You want that now, or you want that later?
Go ahead and read through that real quick, because I want to get to a point. I want to make sure I don't forget this, because this is one of the main points here. Go ahead.
All right, it says, like the black Jews in America, some of the Jews in Guinea, that's in Africa, don't remember their original nationality. This deplorable ignorance is attributed to various causes. 1, the fall of the Hebrew kingdoms. 2, the lack of communication with Jewish educational centers. That just means the temple, where we learned that. 3, intense persecution and the deliberate blotting out of the mind the true nationality. Thus, Nahum Schultz said this about the Islamized Jews he met. In most cases, these Hebrews by race and Muslims by faith seek to hide their origin, which has become a burden to them. In another example, the persecution of the black Jews in Portugal was so ruthless and frequent that Cecil Ross tells us the Jews did not divulge to their children the secret of their religion until they had attained the age of reason.
So the Moors that ruled Europe knew that they was Hebrews, that they was Israelites, but disguised it as Muslims because they was getting persecuted for being Jews.
Exactly.
Wow, that makes a whole lot of sense. Just like today, we have who we are really, but we'll catch persecution.
Exactly. Listen, it gets even more deeper. Go ahead. It says the Hebrew religion, which is our laws, which you read earlier, the culture, our laws, history, and so on. The Hebrew religion is such that if you deny your religion, you will eventually deny your nationality.
Because you'll take on nationalities of other people.
And it's going to say that. It says the sociologists and psychologists know, and history has proven that if you deny your culture and nationality over a long period of time, you will totally forget it through a process of assimilation.
Now I'm going to show you something how, because we read it, we was in Europe, right? A lot of people say King James was a white man, the Bible was written by a white man, right? Let me show you something here. Pull up these articles. Scroll up. Let's see. I don't think that's the one I wanted, right? Go to the second one. Let's see. Okay, that's the one I wanted right there. Now, when you type in King James, you look at his lineage, you see King Charles. Give me the pictures first. The pictures of King James in the vanilla folder. The 2 pictures right there. Click on that one. Now you look up King James, you see it's a coin of King James.
Look at that nose.
It looks not like a white man, but you see a picture, it's a pale man, right? Go to the next one. Here's a drawing that they had. This is in one of their museums over in England of King James. But when we type in Google pictures, we see straight up pale white man, right?
Pale vampire.
Now he go to this. Now let's see this. This is the eldest son of King Charles, or son of Charles and Henrietta Marietta. Henry Maria of France. You see a white man painted right here, right? Straight up and down white man. We get to the bottom of this, it says, go back up. No, that paragraph, that first paragraph. The bottom of that first paragraph, it says here that Charles was a large, dark, but clear, healthy baby. How the hell he's large and dark and I see a pale white man? That's a Jedi mind trick they put on you, right? Now remember, Charles he's the son of King James, right? Let's prove it. Go to the next one.
They just blatantly put it out there as a picture because they know that
go to that one.
read it.
Right. Now look at this.
He could read that.
No, that's it right there. Stay right there. Go scroll over the screen. Move the screen thing over to the right. I'm gonna read this real quick. It says, when after the Battle of Worcester, a reward of 1,000 was offered for the capture of Charles Stuart. He was described as a tall man above 2 yards. He was described as a tall man. I need 106, page 106. Scroll down more. 106, keep going. I can see it, so just leave it where it is. Keep going, 106. Right.
Yeah.
There. Okay, he was captured of Charles Stewart. He was described as a tall man above 2 yards high. His hair was deep brown, near to black. This corresponds to Marvell's famous description of him as of a tall stature and sable hue. In a Cavalier's notebook, page 90, there is a curious, scroll down, a curious anecdote of his measuring his height in the cabin of Naseby on his return to England, and of his exceeding that of any other person on board. Scroll down a little bit. It says here, the king's Cunningham, page 74, however, states him to have been measured 5 feet 10 inches only. The king's swarthy complexion.
Swarthy.
It says swarthy complexion.
Real quick, officer, it said of sable hue, right?
Yeah.
Sable means a marten with a short tail, a bird with a short tail and dark brown fur.
Dark brown, so it's sable hue, and it says he was swarthy.
Swarthy.
Let's look up the word swarthy. What does that mean? It says of a dark color, complexion, or cast. Remember, this is King James' grandson, right?
Grandson,
It's
right.
King James' grandson, right? It says a dark color, complexion, or cast, right? Now, you might not understand what that means. Scroll down to synonyms. Because remember, we just read we was in Europe, right? In Spain and Portugal. The synonyms for swarthy mean black. Black. King Charles II, black.
As the tents of Kedar.
So if King Charles II was black, what color was King Charles I?
Black.
He was black. And King Charles I is the son. Oh, it says right here, having dark skin. Definition of swarthy for English language learners. Having dark skin.
You gotta talk to Mike on that one. This is real black history.
Real black history.
Real black history.
Continue. Now go to the next tab. Let's see something. Go to the next one. All right, go back to the first one. Let me see something. Go back to the first one. I want you to see this. Go up, scroll up, scroll. Is that okay? Let's see. So we got James. There we go. James the sixth, right there.
Yeah.
James 6 and first, right? He lived 1566 to 1625. You click on Wikipedia. King James the sixth is the first because he ruled over Scotland and England, the first to do that. You see a white man painted in a portrait, right?
With pantyhose on.
With pantyhose. But look at this. It says he was King of Scotland, James the sixth, and King of England and Ireland. These are European countries, right? Scroll down some more to his kids. Let's see who his kids was. Oh, there we go, right there. James was the son of Mary, Queen of Scots, and a great-grandson of Henry the Eighth. Henry the Seventh, right? Of England. Can you go to that slide that you had up at first? Let's see, because we went back to Nation Knows No Color line, right? That dark-skinned man you see on the left there, that is Henry the Eighth. So guess who his daddy was? Henry the Seventh.
Somebody got to be lying. Somebody got to be lying.
King James is the great-grandson of Henry the Seventh. And we see a picture, a sketch of Henry the Eighth. So Henry the Seventh was a black man. So that means that King James had to be a what too? A black man, because that's his great-granddaddy, right? Go back to that lineage thing that we had at first. Go back one more. So he was the great-grandson. Scroll over to the reign over there underneath the picture. Now look at this. It says his reign, 1567, all of that, right?
This is King James.
Look at his successor. You see his successor, right? Is Charles the First. Click on that. Charles the First. We get another white man. Now go to his predecessor. Go back up a little bit. It says Charles was the second son of King James the Sixth of Scotland. That's who we just read about, right? King James. So this is Charles the First. Scroll down to his predecessor.
Who succeeded him?
Charles the Second, right? Click on that. Bam. So that's King Charles. You see another white image of King Charles II. Can you go back to that next tab right after this? So that's King Charles again, right? This is the eldest son of Charles I. This is Charles II. Scroll up so they can see the name. Charles II. We just saw a white picture of him. Down there at the bottom, once again, Charles was a large, dark, but clear, healthy baby. Go to that next one again that we was just reading. Now the next one, right after that one. Right after that one. It says here at the bottom of that, it says that the king's swarthy complexion. This is the description of King Charles II had a swarthy complexion. Swarthy means what? Black. Go back to that definition of swarthy. Swarthy, for English language learners, having dark skin. Go up to the synonym real quick. Black.
Black. That's what it said in Psalms, that the truth shall spring forth.
Psalms 85:11, the truth shall spring out of the earth.
You can't hide this truth. You can't hide it. This is of the Most High. This is of the Most High.
If you Israel and you on the borderline and you've been confused, this truth shall set you free. That those people that authorized this Bible to be put together was a black man.
That's right.
And all his descendants after him was black people too. That's why they have painted images and you don't know who you are, keeping you in a state of confusion. That's why this is called Real Black History for the Month. I hope you've been edified. This is the signs of the times. I'm Officer Zakar to my right and to my left.
Soldier Judah.
Stay tuned for the next show, next week, the Creole Corner. Shalom.
That's right. It's working.
Shalom, Israel. I'm Elder Nathaniel, Israel United in Christ. YouTube likes to shut our channels down, as some of you have noticed, ever so often. Subscribing to join IUIC will assure you will always stay connected to our YouTube accounts. We want to do our best to make sure this truth gets out. Please click and join our subscriber YouTube channel called Join IUIC. To stay linked to all of our videos. So again, please make sure you subscribe to this and join IUIC channel to get your latest updates on all our YouTube channels. Shalom.